Hi, I'm Vince Molinari, and welcome to FinTech TV. We're broadcasting from the iconic New York Stock Exchange, and I'd like to welcome a very special guest today, Gabriela Berrospi, who's also known as Gabriela Wall Street. She's the founder of Latino Wall Street. Gabby, welcome to the FinTech TV. Welcome to the New York Stock Exchange.
Thank you so much, Vince. I'm very happy, excited, and grateful to be here with you.
Well, the gratitude is ours, and I am so happy today. We're announcing our partnership, FinTech TV, Latino Wall Street, coming together to unify, collaborate, create content. Thankful to you and Tony. We're very excited about the beginning of this journey.
Thank you so much for being such a great partner. We're so happy to be joining officially and to be launching this new show.
Well, look, and I think we have to check with the New York Stock Exchange archives, but we're going to be doing Spanish-speaking segments, shows, and I think it's the first time on the floor of the New York Stock Exchange that there's been a dedicated Spanish-speaking language show.
Yes, and I think that's crucial because the Latino community is growing so much in the United States, and there's such a huge addressable market. So to be able to deliver also, this financial content and education in Spanish, I think it's a huge expansion thing for FinTech.
Well, great expansion for us, and frankly, great expansion and visibility for the New York Stock Exchange as we continue to bridge communities and create that content. When we talk about 400 million Spanish-speaking people, that is an amazing potential audience. So we're very grateful to partner. I'd love if you can frame for us a little bit, the vision of Latino Wall Street, why you started it, and really the mission.
Yeah, so basically the idea started a long time ago when I attended NYU, and my dorm was very close to Wall Street, and I was exposed to that world since I was literally a teenager, right? Like I was a student, and very soon I realized there was something missing, right, in the Wall Street market and the investment world, is that there were not enough women and there were not enough Latinos. Right? Like that was obvious. So I had that idea since a very young age, but I didn't take action on it until 2019 when we officially opened Latino Wall Street. I just had to meet the right partner, and I actually met Tony, and he had all the skills I didn't have, like software and all these things that I needed to actually launch this great platform. And we did it because we saw there was a huge gap in the market. There were no actual leaders in the investment world, finance world, delivering this education in our native language. And we saw that as a huge opportunity, not just for us, but for them, because they didn't have the skills and the things I had, and I was very fortunate to be exposed to that since I was literally a student, right? When I was 18 and I started going to school in New York City. Most people don't have that access, that opportunity, that circle. So I really thought about it for the longest time until we actually did it. And when we did it, it was almost like overnight, right, that thousands of people reacted to it. Online, we went viral very quickly because there was obviously a missing gap, and people need this. No matter what you do in life, you're going to need skills to manage your money, to be able to invest, diversify, protect your money. Something is always going to happen in a period of a lifetime, so you need to be prepared for that. And the fact that there was so much lack of education in our communities, made us be a stand for it. So that's why we opened Latino Wall Street.
No, and to your point, so sorely needed, financial literacy and education across the spectrum, but your ability to deliver that in native language to have greater consumption and adoption, I think, was really a big differentiation in what you set out to do.
Yes, 100%. So we could have just said, we're going to, focus on our Latino community, but in English. But the whole point was that the missing information was in Spanish, right? Because I realized living in New York City for such a long time that it was almost like this known thing. People knew exactly what Wall Street was, how it worked. Even if you were very young, you had the exposure and the knowledge, at least basic knowledge. But in Spanish, there was nothing, zero. Like, people didn't even know what Wall Street was, or that they could even be part of it and access it and buy their first share. They had no idea. They thought it was like the most impossible, faraway thing, only for billionaires. And it's been democratized. Maybe at some point, when there was no internet, it was very different to be a shareholder, but now anyone could do it. So just being able to bring that, the whole world, completely new to them, I think has been a major, paradigm shift in a lot of people's lives.
And you make a great point, Gabby, when we talk about democratization, right? Democratization is so much information, education, access to the capital, but I think one of the things that I really applaud Latino Wall Street for is the democratization to be able to create wealth and financial planning and that piece of education that allows people to plan for their futures, and whether that's their own retirement or education, weddings, all the kind of things, but to realize that there's a pathway to wealth creation that wasn't necessarily available to the community prior to a lot of this.
Yes, planning for your future, it's crucial. If you don't do it, and if your parents, don't have the knowledge and they don't do it for you, then literally nobody's going to do it. I started very young in this world because, again, I was exposed to it since I was 18. But when I met my Wall Street friends who were young, in their 20s, and they were trading the stock market, I realized they had actually started since before they were born because their parents had the knowledge. So I felt like, oh wow, I discovered this at 18, that's great. They looked at it as you lost 18 years because that compound interest, if you will, those results of what the market has done the last 2 decades, if your parents knew and they opened that for you on day one, you could have benefited from that. So I never thought about it that way, but then I realized when I have my son, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to plan for his future since day one, so he has an advantage. And that's one of the things when I teach the community, that there's no point in waiting. Nobody ever got wealthy or made money just waiting around, right? You have to take action, and if you do it as soon as you can, or if you find out about it like when you're older, you can always have that opportunity with your kids, grandkids, so there's always an opportunity to start since the beginning.
Never too late, and it's great to have the education side. Look, I'm really looking forward. You're going to be doing some Spanish-speaking language commentary on markets. We're going to have Tony coming on. We're going to be interviewing guests both in English and Spanish, marquee leaders of the Latino community globally coming on. So there's going to be a wealth of content. That's, I think, so educational, but really bridging communities, and I think that's so powerful.
Yes, just to be more inclusive, to bridge communities, and to be able to give, such a huge market out there. I mean, huge, 400 million people worldwide. Online, you can reach all of them, right? And in the United States, over 50 million Spanish speakers. That's a lot of people, and I will tell you, a lot of them really, are either not fluent in English or really prefer their native language, like most people would. So I think it's going to be a breakthrough for sure.
Well, and I got to just talk briefly about it as well. The power of the Latino community as purchasing power, as creators, as contributors to the economy. So this kind of goes full cycle, if you will, for advertisers, people who want to reach that audience as well. So I think we have a magnificent opportunity together.
There's a huge opportunity. Look, even in the elections, right? They said we were the ones who made that happen. So there's a lot of power in the community for sure.
Absolutely. Well, Gabby, we are honored and thrilled. Looking forward to launching the episodes, talking about our partnership today with you and Tony. Thank you so much, and delighted to have you here with us today.
Thank you, Vince. Thank you, FINTECH TV. I'm looking forward to it.